Ready to get fucking sad? Here we go. Young Maria. The rain just keeps on coming. Wonder if we'll be able to go home today. Hey, Jacopino. Say something, you little wuss. Be quiet. You're gonna give me a headache. Sadness is my passion. The lightning's way louder than me. Eek! Ack! Haha, you jumped, Jacopino. You're such a baby. You jumped too, and stop calling me that. Don't be scared. Don't cry. I'm not crying. Your eyes are damp too. I'm not crying, not at all. Not one bit. Liar. Ahahaha. There's no end to this rain, is there? It's fine. If it doesn't stop, there's nothing at home for me. You don't want to go home? Parents don't get along, huh? That's got nothing to do with it. Liar. You've got it good. Everyone loves your grandpa. Whenever anyone needs something, they come to him. Now there's a great man. Huh? How'd my grandpa become part of this? For no reason. Not everyone likes him. He gets just as much hate as love. Grandpa's not really a model citizen. He's mostly just shrewd. Are you jealous? I'm not. My old man is though. Huh? Is he now? Well, your dad's got his good points too, I think. Like, I don't know, he seems like the kind of man who can accomplish big things. Though he seems a lot stricter than my grandpa. Oh, come on, I don't get you. What are you clamming up for? No reason. If you don't want to go home then, how about we go somewhere far away from here, huh? Once it stops raining, let's get out of here. Head up to the capital, find some work. We could make it work, the two of us. Oh, and we'll bring Nero, of course. If we could, that would be nice. Break free of the city and its outdated traditions. Head somewhere bigger, more forward-thinking. If only it were possible. It's alright, Maria. I know you were just joking. I wouldn't be able to find work anyway. If the two of us ran off, we'd be starving in a month. You'd have to be blind not to see that, right? Let's go home once the rain lets up. Yeah, once it does. But until then, I know, let's sing. Sing even louder than the lightning. Then maybe I'll stop crying, Jacopino. I am not crying. Ahahaha. Come on, let's sing. La 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 la. La 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 la. We don't like Maria. Why are you saying how romantic strange? Maria's the crazy one. I may not put it into words, but I trust you understand that I consider you a dear friend. Listen to me, Jacopo. My actions were justified. I did what I did for the betterment of this city, this land. The Campanellas are too conservative. Under their control, this country will atrophy. Progress will continue to lose steam. If we don't push forward, we'll fall farther and farther behind. Before long, you will be made the next Capo Famiglia. And until that day, you will cross over to the New World and establish the Costco there. Until then, bolster us, make us strong. I'll handle things back here. Yeah, but this is when she was just a baby before all the things happened that made Maria crazy. No. I don't. No. No. I'll handle things back here. I won't let the Campanellas train straight back. What? You want Maria to? It's dangerous to keep a Campanella so close by. She has to be taken care of. If you insist. But do not let your guard down. Betrayal is a constant companion in this world. Retroactively a monster. Yes, indeed. I'm giving you my revolver. Keep it on you at all times. Glory everlasting upon her blood and upon this earth. Best I can give you is a job as my maid. If I show you any more obviously preferential treatment, the Berzattis are liable to step in. Money, power, respect, and enough authority not to take orders from anyone. I thought that if I could obtain all that, I would be able to give you freedom, and her as well. I want to give you both comfortable lives. But none of that got through to either of you. But for us, other people change because of stupid things like that. The door is the most relatable. Everything is slipping through my fingers. Her love, my friendship with Maria, both of their smiles. Master, what was that sound? So much blood. Ah, Maria, what happened this time? Keep getting stuck witnessing the worst things. What? Call a doctor, someone with tight lips. Do not call the police, and don't make a scene, got it? If so, then go on. Yes, sir. Right now, everything has slipped from my grasp. My money and influence are all that's left. That is what you wanted, though, is it not? You sought money and power, no? Aren't you going to go? Yes, I will. But first, I would like to ask you something. What do you intend to do from here? What am I gonna do? Exactly the same as before. Oh no, she's alive. Bury her alive. What? The maidservant's always been alive. What do you mean? There is but one thing for me to do. I see. Will you eventually find solace in your riches? The way I see it, money and power can be your ally, but they can become your enemy in the blink of an eye. I meant Maria? Oh no, I think she's dead. I don't know why they're calling the doctor. If you do not put them into words, your feelings will never make it through to anyone. For unlike money, humans are not measured by their appearance. He failed to communicate to anyone what he held within his breast. He was chained down by his place in society, his pride, his relationships, and his own heart. And at some point, he found himself in a position where he was no longer able to speak his mind. After enough time, he likely forgot how to be genuine at all. Or perhaps someone like him simply would not, even if they knew how. In any event, there are many things in this world that cannot be communicated without being put into words. How sad that his tale should end without him expressing how he truly felt. How hard it must have been to never clear up his misunderstandings. After Jacopo's confrontation with Maria, the Pacific Railroad was completed as scheduled. Celebratory cheers shook the new world as the last spike was driven into the rails. Jacopo, however, could not even manage a smile listening to the telegraph, and I am sure you can take a guess as to why. The people with whom he wished to share with that moment were not there. Shortly following her death, Jacopo held a private funeral for Maria. Then he commenced a search for the white-haired girl, but he did not do so alone. He hired others to help, did everything in his power to find her, tirelessly searching for many, many years. However, he was never able to locate her. He spent the remainder of his life alone. Money, power, renown, servants. The world around him was always quite lively, but solitude was his only companion. He waited, and he waited, and he waited for the white-haired girl to return. The years crawled by, and with no family or loved ones on his side to care for him in his old age, he died alone. Oh, I'm depressed. Doesn't make me more depressed. My heart hurts. Well, I guess we finished the third door. The door before you slowly drew shut. Could no longer hear the raucous sounds of the men from within the den. The faint scent of the cigarette smoke, however, lingered in the air. Staring vaguely at the closed door, you noticed something was amiss. The maid who had been holding your hand was no longer at your side. You glanced around, she was nowhere in sight. Down the corridor stretched only darkness. Not having anticipated this, you were unsure how to react. What's the matter? You lost, or you just trying to take in the sights? A voice called out to you, but it was not the maid's voice. Caught off guard, you spun around confused in search of the source. Where are you looking? I'm over here. Yeah, there you go. A little more to the left. Following the voice's instructions, you found yourself facing a wall. You look like you've just seen a ghost. Hey now, come on, don't turn away. Yep, you got it. I'm the one talking to you. The voice was coming from within the painting. When you had passed by this wall on your way to the third door, a magnificent landscape painting had been hanging there. But now the canvas was a deep shade of black, as if it had been dipped into a vat of ink. Been a while since I've talked to anyone. So tell me, you can hear me alright, can't you? Splendid. Been so long since I've had a conversation, I was afraid I might have forgotten how to talk. Tell me, who might you be? You don't know? Well, isn't that quite the pickle? Then how about we have a little chat, eh? You got yourself turned around and aren't sure where to go, yeah? Well, I'll be happy to tell you anything I can, just ask away. The painting sounded rather high-spirited. Perhaps he was simply excited to have the opportunity to speak with someone. So he decided he would ask the painting a few questions. Oh no. I don't know what to pick. I know our first route, I'm not gonna look at chat, but I'm just gonna... There's a lot of choices here. There is. Maybe we can pick them all. Who's the maid? Might as well ask her that directly, but she won't say till you've regained your own self. We'll see. Well, in that case, if you want to know, you gotta know what you gotta do. It's entirely up to you whether you make an ally or an enemy out of her. There's no guarantee she's even right in the head. You never know. Maybe you're not the only one who hasn't found themselves. Just because you don't know who you are doesn't mean you can go around asking other people. I'm not a person, you say? Well, no, you're right, but I'm not going to know anything about you if you can't tell me yourself. I mean, from where I'm standing, you look almost like a walking cloud of shadow. I can't even tell you what you look like. The maid who was with you before, did she call you master? I see, but the question is, which era's master are you? How many doors have you been through? 3 doors, eh? Any of those? Did they bring any of them back? Well, it's not an easy thing recovering yourself. Or maybe you weren't behind any of the 3 doors. Yeah, that's gotta be it. That was your first time witnessing those tragedies. Yours is another door. So tell me, how'd you feel looking behind those doors? Was it frightening, saddening, heart-wrenching? Well, let me tell you something. You were able to bear them because they weren't your tragedies. If the next door you open is yours, will you be able to bear it? Will you be able to accept your own tragedy? It's one thing seeing others suffering, but your own. If you have to face emotions you wanted to keep buried, secrets you wanted to keep hidden away, the pain you wanted to forget, do you think you'll be able to accept them as your own? If you can't, I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't accuse you of running if you choose not to reclaim your old self. Nothing wrong with erasing your memory of something if it was so bad you didn't want to face it in the first place. Let it be rewritten as someone else's story. That'll make it a whole lot easier on you. 'Cause you never know. The most unfortunate tale of all may as well be your own. Or perhaps that goes for everything about you. You won't know till you see it? Well, that's true enough. But what you do, there might not be any turning back. Or do you mean reclaim your old self no matter the cost? If you do, if you're sincerely prepared to do that, then be wary of the tale that comes next. Any tragedy that seems too beautiful to be real is precisely that, a fabrication. If it turns out you're someone from behind the next door, then perhaps you're mine. Me? Well, as you can see, I'm a painting. Why did I end up as a painting? Hard to say. Maybe I was reborn as a painting because I used to really like art. Though there are things I painted that I wish I hadn't. Maybe that regrets what turned me into this. Is this the white-haired girl's dad? Hopefully I can get the chance to apologize to him about that. Anywho, him. No point in getting into any more detail than that. Wouldn't mean anything to you, so enough about me. Alright, you don't know anything about yourself. Shame of that. Alright then, a favor for you since you can't tell me about yourself. If you run into him, could you tell him I really regret what I did? I know I should tell myself, well, as you can see. Stuck here. Can't move an inch, so I gotta ask for help. I feel absolutely terrible about painting that picture. I know, yeah, the deadline's way past on that one, but that's what makes it regret, yeah, 'cause you can't take it back. By the time I'd realized that it was too late, he was already dead. He's long since passed away. Huh? How are you supposed to give a dead fellow a message? Well, for all you know, the dead could be wandering these halls too. So please, if you come across him, tell him I said that I didn't mean any harm with that painting. Oh yeah? Or maybe you are him? Doubt it, I think I'm a girl. Oof, talk about some hard-hitting questions. I'm probably not the one who'll be able to answer that for you. I don't have a very deep connection with this mansion, you see. I swear it, I got nothing to gain from lying, do I? It's my regrets that It's my regrets that have turned me into this. I wasn't summoned here by no one. That said, there is one thing I can tell you. This place summons people. People have ties to something that happened long, long ago. No one knows anything even happened. I didn't know either till she told me. Though I haven't the foggiest how much of it's true or not. Are you here because you were summoned by her? Or did you come here of your own will to find someone? If you came here of your own volition and you weren't summoned by her, then mayhaps you'll be the one who can break. Haven't talked that much in a long time. Feels great. And now I've gotten that out of my system, I should be able to get some good sleep. You're probably still wandering in the dark right now, but I'd really help you find the outcome you want. And I really mean that. You can either reclaim your old self or you can toss it aside. Choice is yours either way. Now, since it looks like your escort isn't showing up, what do you plan to do next? Well, how about taking a look around the place since you've got a little free time? Could be you come across some things you wouldn't with her around. Oh right, if you're gonna go exploring, I've got the perfect thing. Stick your hand out into the canvas, would you? Painting was still wrapped in an impenetrable darkness, perfect all-consuming void. The main had told you to put your hand into it, you. I'll trust him. I'm a trustful person. You extended your hand into the painting. The moment your fingertips brushed against the darkness, it swallowed your entire hand up to the wrist. No, not there. That tickles a little to the right. Good. I'm a very trustful person. I look for the best in people. As the man in the painting had instructed, you groped around inside of the darkness. Wait, why am I reading this in the voice? I'm sorry. I talked in it so much that I started. And before long, you felt something hard at your fingertips. Clenching the object, you threw your hand. Your arm was still intact. You spread your fingers, and there you found a key. Ooh, I got a key. Ah, that tickled. With that key, you can access the master bedroom. A while back, she tossed it into me. That damn litter bug. So yeah, it ain't mine. Don't worry about giving it back. However, I bet there's something worth seeing in there if she felt the need to toss that key. Alright, well, I'm gonna get some sleep. You take care. If you happen to learn my name, come pay me another visit, should the fancy strike you. Having said that, the painting fell quiet. In your hand lay a small key. It seemed rather antiquated and vaguely familiar. Silence once again drew over the corridor. You stood there all alone, no sign of the maid. After considering for a few moments, you decided to explore the mansion on your own. What a friendly painting oh, shit. Oh, whoops. Let's call for the maid. Tried calling for the maid. It was quiet. A sense of loneliness fell over you. Alright, we're going to the master bedroom. You inserted the key you had been given to the door's keyhole. With a twist, the door opened. Oh my god. In the master bedroom was shrouded in darkness, much like every other room in the mansion. It had been evidently left unused for some time. The air in the room was stale and forlorn. Master. Voice seemed to ring out from somewhere. Come on, get up. Up with you. Master! See, what did I tell you? It's so much nicer in here with a little light. Without warning, your whole world took on bright, vivid colors. Light streamed through the window, illuminating a well-lived bedroom. A woman's silhouette stood before you. Wait a sec. Don't hide under your bedspread. Get out of there. Oh, but Master. Oh, this is nice music. Gugu. Oh, but Master, you agreed I could open the windows. Don't worry, I put curtains up. If it gets too bright, you can draw them. Mornings take the best parts of being outside and squeeze them all in the same few hours. You don't have to go outside in the sunlight for it either. Just listen to all the wonderful sounds. The joyous songs of the birds, the swaying of the trees, the rustling of the leaves. I really like this song. You tried to call out to the silhouette, but it did not respond. Reaching out for her, your hand simply passed through her body. It did not seem to be you she was speaking to. Perhaps you were looking at a scene from some other period of time. Am I being pushy as I feel right now? Completely misjudged you. You're the exact opposite of what I thought you were. Let's see. I thought you were cold and cruel, heartless and incomprehensible. You like the next doors a lot one? I should finish door 7 ASAP. But I'm beginning to get a better idea. Or you could wait for me to get to door 7, Anya, and experience it for the first time with me. That's only if you want to wait that long. No problem. No pressure if you don't want to. You try to put on airs, but you're really rather childish. You have a short temper, but can be surprisingly playful. And what else? You have a pretty difficult personality too. Now, hear me out here. That's not everything. You give me a chance to talk, and you listened intently. You can be kinda nice too. We agreed we would live together, not just in the same house. So we've got plenty of time to add more to the list. I hope you can make your own list about me too. This is just the beginning after all. We've got a long, long time ahead of us. Plenty of time to get to know each other, no? Let's not waste any time then. What do you say we do something today that we haven't been able to before? Where should we begin? Oh, I know. We can get this place cleaned up. Now that there's some actual light in here, we can see all sorts of things we'd probably rather not. Like dust all over the place. Hee hee hee. When the woman's shadow faded away, the master bedroom transformed back into its old dreary state. Master, can you say my name? You're unsure how to describe the urge welling up in your breast. You could not say her name. You stood unmoving in the master bedroom for some time, but it did not appear anything else was going to happen. So you decided to head somewhere else. Sup, y'all? Hello, Felix. I'm gonna call for the maid again. Tried calling for the maid. It's quiet. Dang it. Hope you're doing well. Go to the stained glass window. Approach the stained glass window. Calling for mommy? Yep, we are. Hold on, there's a flyer I need to get. Frickin' flies. I decided to try out Star Rail yesterday. Yay! How'd you like it? An array of pews was arranged facing the stained glass. There seemed to be an air of tranquility about the room. I've been pausing Fata for a month because of college. I can't wait any longer to play this game again. No, you're okay. Make sure you're... only play a little bit so it doesn't get in the way of your school. He sat down in one of the pews and stared quietly forward for some time. And it's good. They definitely put a lot of love in the world. For a moment, you felt like you were on the verge of recalling something, but ultimately the memory never managed to surface. The maid did not appear to be there. Where could she have gone? She decided to resume exploring the mansion. Let's go to the rose garden. Why can't... My professor's been dropping the most unhuman assignments lately. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hee, look, your head is covered in roses, blank. Oh, Nelly, you've got petals on the book. This isn't mine, I can't afford to. We've seen this scene before. Time to bust out the chat GPT. True. There you could, this is Nelly and the other dude. You could hear the sound of children laughing, you could not see them. Regardless, their cheerful voices warmed your heart. You decided to linger there in the garden for some time. Along with the children's laugh wafted a sweet fragrance. Nelly, Monka. The wind blew whisking flower petals into the air. It was an enchanting sight. But after a while, the roses began to wilt. You could no longer hear the children's voices either. A young man stood alone in the withered garden. As you drew nearer, you called out to the youth, but the young man did not appear to notice you. He merely stood there, staring vacantly across the garden. The youth muttered something in a lifeless voice. This isn't what I wanted. I just wanted a normal, peaceful life. I can't bear being alone. I can't take this. Someone get me out of here, oh God. Tell me that I'm not the bad one here. I tried to call out to the young man several times, but he did not seem to hear you. He simply continued muttering to himself. Before long, the youth's shadow faded into nothing. Unable to bear the chilly air any longer, you stepped back into the mansion. Let's go to the cellar. Maybe we'll see the beast or something. You descended into the cellar. Yep, you hear a beast-like snarling. I'm a genius. Well, actually, I'm just psychic. I'm not a genius. Along with it came a sour odor and the sound of ripping flesh. You could not see the beast, but that did not make it any less unpleasant. You made to retreat from the cellar. Woo! Why not both? What were your thoughts on the conclusion of Door 2? It was definitely interesting. We kind of figured he was a human the whole time, but it was definitely sad. Like, all the doors are sad, but I liked the story. I really liked the white-haired girl. I kind of relate to her a lot. But it made me really sad about the guy who met up with the, like, girl who fell in love with the beast. And I thought it was cool how they showed us the other scenes and it made us think, oh, this is just, like, somehow related, like, but we didn't realize how related it really was. Like, we didn't realize we were looking at the beast the whole time, which I thought was really cool. But before you could, a shadowy creature lunged at you. You reflexively squeezed your eyes shut. After several moments, you opened your eyes again to find a silhouette of a man standing in the place of a beast. Only gets better. Yeah. You and the shadow stared at one another for some time. You asked the shadow a question and the shadow responded. That is creepy. However, you had no idea what it said. Shadow seemed to be trying to communicate something to you, but trying to make sense of something you could not understand was pointless. Having no reason to remain in the cellar any longer, you made your way back upstairs. Let's go to the entrance. Made your way to the mansion's entrance. There was no one around nor any source of light. Groping through the darkness, you found the front door, which was sealed with a heavy bar. You pressed against the bar, but it remained firmly in place. The door did not budge either. It seemed you could not leave the mansion. Burn the witch. Crucify the impure. When you made a step away from the entrance, you heard a muffled voice. When you looked around, you were unable to determine the source of the voice. Nor could you be sure whom you had heard either. Giving up on finding anything at the entrance, you decided to head somewhere else. Made your way to the room with the fireplace. What remained of the fireplace crackled weakly, leaving the room in a veil of darkness. You remembered what you had awoken here. Out of sheer curiosity, you sat down on the rocking chair you had been asleep in. Creak, creak, creak. Off topic, what are the 5-star rates in Star Rail? I have no idea. Someone in chat might know. It was as soothing as a cradle to a baby, and in short order you found your consciousness drifting from your grasp. Oof, that is rough rates. Reading a story by the fireplace like this almost makes it feel like we're in another world, doesn't it, Master? I bet that's why troubadours perform at pubs, so they can be near the fire. So you guarantee after like 70 pulls or something? Oh, you're such a cynic. But that's okay, hee hee. Say, do you remember when I first arrived here? When I was cleaning the library? Your eyes slowly slid open. When you're over 75, it goes up massively. Fragments of a pleasant dream lingered in the back of your mind. The crackling fire, the taste of warm wine. However, there was nothing pleasant about the fireplace sitting before you. No warm crackling flames. In fact, the brisk air of the room overpowered the remnants of embers left there. A chill ran down your spine. Worried you might freeze stiff if you stayed there much longer, you resumed your exploration of the mansion. So at the library. So let's go to the library. The smell of dusty books filled the air of the library. You approached a shelf to examine one of the books. Whoa. Suddenly an avalanche of them came falling to the floor. You stared blankly at the mountain of books. I'm guessing the strat is to roll only when you have 70 plus tickets then? No, you usually roll when you have 10 tickets. Or you can save up. It's up to you. It just depends. You can save until you have 70 for sure. You stared blankly at the mountain of books. They'd fallen down on their own, but they showed no signs of putting themselves away. For the limited, if you want a character, just roll, the pity doesn't go away. Oh yeah, there's a limited banner for beginners, and yeah. Since no one else was there to do it, you began placing the books back on the shelf. 1, 2, 3, a dozen. As soon as you had gotten them all back up, whoa, they came crashing back down again. I keep getting jump scared by that. You wished very much to implore of the maid's assistance, but she did not appear to be in the area. Pretending you had not seen anything, you made your way back to the hallway. Oh my god. The scent of cigarette smoke lingered in the den. However, the room was silent. Not even an echo of the men's chattering remained. Something was moving. Billiards balls. There was no one present to strike the balls. They rolled out spontaneously around the table. Don't use anything other than silver tickets for standard. What else can you use for rolling besides silver tickets? There are golden tickets for the... So, you know the Sealy banner? That's the, like, golden ticket banner. And there's also a weapon banner. So you use your silver tickets on the standard banner. But you want to roll on the limited banner until it's gone. Because it's only there for, like, 50 rolls, I think. So you want to spend your 50 rolls on that first, and then move on to the Sealy or weapon banner. Unless you have silver tickets, then you use that on the standard banner. If that makes sense. The spheres collided awkwardly with one another. Don't go for weapons if you are not spending money. Oh, okay. Don't do that then. The spheres collided awkwardly with one another. Not a single one coming close to the pockets. As an experiment, you pulled a ball off the table. In response, the path of the balls became even clumsier. Having lost one of their targets, they began bouncing aimlessly off the cushioned walls of the table. As you stared intently at the table, a man's voice rang out somewhere in the room. Aw, Jacopo, I like you. I have a crush on you, Jacopo, because I'm literally the white-haired girl and I like you. Is it reasonable to expect to roll enough to guarantee the Sealy banner? You can try, for sure. However, you could not make out what the man was saying. The man thrust his finger at the table. He appeared to want you to return the ball. You reluctantly placed the billiards ball back on the table. Before it goes away, it's free to pay. I don't know. Maybe. You reluctantly place the billiards balls on the table. Oh, you cleared door 3 already? Yep. I did. When you did, the balls resumed endlessly colliding with one another, never landing in any of the pockets. It was very sad. It's a very sad door. Yeah, you can reach pity, but it's 50-50 if you're gonna get her the other 5-star. Yes. It's 50-50 first, and then it's guaranteed. You look up to find the shadow gone. Having determined that the maid was not going to appear in the den, you exited, making your way back to the corridor. Oh, we already went to see this. Let's call for the maid. Maria, that bitch. Yeah, she's such a bitch. You tried calling for the maid. It's quiet since the loneliness fell over you. So we like the stained glass window again. It's where I went first. You returned to the room with the stained glass window. Searched the mansion, but had no luck finding the maid. If you lose it, then the next time it's 100%, doesn't go away, you always get the carrot. Yeah, true. You felt somewhat tired, though. You were not quite sure whether it was physical exhaustion or otherwise. You had little interest in doing any more moving about. Taking a seat in one of the pews, you gazed up at the stained glass. Staring solemnly down at you was the archangel said to weigh the souls of the deceased. Perhaps he was trying to weigh your soul. Master, Master. Oh, there you are, Master. You gave me quite the scare. After returning from the 3rd door, you disappeared without a word. Oh my, it was I who disappeared? It's quite strange. I did not go anywhere as far as I'm aware. Nevertheless, I am glad to have found you. I would have been at a complete loss for what to do if I had separated from you yet again. Oops. I did indeed say that when you first arrived. I have been waiting for you to return for a very long time. For centuries, as a matter of fact. Make me a ghost, then, you say? Hehe, I am very much not a ghost. Would I be able to hold your hand if I were? Saying this, the maid took your hand. It was cold enough to send a shudder down your spine, and completely devoid of life. Though as chilling as it may have been, you still took comfort in the feeling of her hand in yours. The maid looked down at you with gentle eyes. After a few moments of silence, she sat down beside you. The stained glass is quite beautiful, is it not? Every time I see it, it brings tranquility to my heart. A dreadful, deep-rooted curse afflicts this mansion. However, this room is the one exception. Can you feel the purity that hangs in the air, Master? Yes, what is it, Master? You are correct. The stained glass window had been shattered. It was not present in the time period of the previous tale. I wonder, perhaps it's because the mansion we are presently resides in a realm separate from the real world. We are in a world constructed from the myriad memories and histories. I am sure that when you regain your old self, Master, the mansion too shall be restored to its original state. So do try and remember, all right? Hee hee hee. Oh, yes. Where did you go in my absence, Master? I see. So you explored the mansion, then? Did you find anything noteworthy? Memories. I'm not quite sure what you mean. How peculiar. As a servant of this house, I pride myself in being aware of most everything present within these walls. I wonder whose memories they could be. The key of the master bedroom? Why did I throw away the key? I beg your pardon? You say a painting told you. See the perplexity on the maid's face. You had seen her make such an expression before. Or never. I know nothing of any key. Oh, Master, you should not tell jokes meant to cause others discomfort, hee. But a talking painting, you say? You seem to have a rather vivid imagination. Maybe you can tell the next tale, Master. Hee, I am only teasing. Now, that was a nice break, but we should get moving. The tale I'm about to show you is the last of the mansion's memories. I'm certain you will remember yourself after seeing it. To our feet. The final door is not far. Please do not let go of my hand. Holding your hand, the maid led you to the far end of the room. Crossing beneath the stained glass window, a metal door came into view. Our destination lies at the top of these stairs. There we will find the one lost door. She pushed open the metal door, revealing a long, long spiral staircase. I do really like this game, though. It will be a bit of a walk, so let us be on our way. Spiral staircases always give me deja vu. That's rough, yeah it is. Please do watch your step. This is called an observation tower. Normally, towers such as these were built in castles or churches, so it's rather strange for there to be one in a mansion. The last door I wish to show you, Master, resides at the top of this tower. Rectangular windows were carved out of stone in several locations along the way up the spiral staircase. You attempted to peer out of one of the windows, but all you could see was a thick layer of fog. Perhaps the maid's suggestion that the mansion did not presently reside in reality was in fact correct. With each step upward, you found yourself gripped by an indescribable sense of anxiety. The feeling somewhat resembled irritation or annoyance. Sensing this, the maid tightly gripped your hand. There's nothing to worry about. You will be fine. It's all in the past. No matter what may happen, so long as you do not let go of my hand, you have nothing to fear. You and the maid continued to climb the stairs, up and up, around and around, marching nearer and nearer to the supposed final door. High up into the tower, as the light from below drew distant, a rotten wood door came into view. Patches of what appeared to be blood stained the surface, and holes had been bored into it with sharp objects of some sort. You heard a scream from far below, where no one should have been. Kill the witch, kill the witch, kill the witch, burn her, burn her, burn her. You were struck with fear. The next moment the maid opened the door, and then you slowly descended into darkness. The fourth door. I think I'm gonna pause here. Oh, we're way in the past. 1099. Is that 1099? How do you say that? 1099. This is way in the past. Let me save. Save a save. We really liked it so far. I didn't play a lot of it, but we played a little, and I was like, this is cool. I'm interested. So it was fun. Definitely not gonna stream that because we randomly got hit with a naked body out of nowhere. We were like, what? Not that it's like bad, but we just weren't That's the same studio that made the Eurovian I sent you. Oh, hell yeah. I like it. I like it. Set on a pot, set it on, and also pour water into it. Gather pieces thereof into it, and even every good piece, the thigh and the shoulder. They haven't seen good art. Fill it with the choice of bones. Take the choice of the flock, and also burn the bones under it, and make it boil well, and let them seethe in the bones of therein. Thus saith the Lord, woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose scum is therein, and whose scum is not gone out of it. Bring it out piece by piece. Let no lot fall upon it. Oh, we're doing witchcraft. I've done some witchcraft before. Oh, here we are again. Where is she? Where'd she go? She came down this way, I'm sure of it. Find her, burn her, burn the witch, burn the witch. Karina showed Josephine and I want to play so much, but it has 3 parts and the third one is not translated on it. I didn't know that! Why do I always get into things like that on accident? Burn the witch, burn the witch, burn the witch, burn her, burn her, burn her. Damn, these people are so evil. Then will I leave thee upon the land, I will cast thee forth upon the open field, and will cause all the fowls of the heaven to remain upon thee. And I will find the beasts of the whole earth within thee, and I will lay thy flesh upon the mountains, and fill the valleys with thy height. And I will also water with thy blood the land wherein thou swimmest, even to the mountains, and the river shall be full of thee. And when I shall put thee out, I will cover the heaven, and make the stars thereof dark. I will cover the sun with a cloud, and the moon shall not give her light. All the bright lights of heaven will I make dark over thee, and set darkness upon thy land. I seem to have lost them. Now where am I? Where should I go from here? What am I to do? Darkness spreads as far as the eye can see. Not a ray of light shines down upon me. All that strokes my cheek are tendrils of darkness. Every passing day, every fading hour, my world is engulfed in ebony. There exists no kindness in the shadow, only solitude. I've lost track of how long I've been on the run, wandering aimlessly lost until I arrived at this dark forest. I no longer have anywhere to go. O Father who art in heaven, I kneel to thee with my heart, and I ask of thee thy blessing. O Father who art in heaven, I ask of thee to shine thy light upon me and show me the way. Please have mercy upon my soul. O Father who art in heaven, I do love thee dearly. Hallowed be thy name. Please show me the way. I may be shunned and persecuted, and I may have no place to go, but nevertheless I am unable to give up on life and cast aside my hope. Oh yeah, this story is the one you should check the backlogs in. O Father who art in heaven, please guide me unto salvation. O Father who art in heaven, please guide me. I can no longer remember when my life became naught but running, when it became endless wandering in the dark. And now I've reached the point where I've long since forgotten my hunger and thirst. My voice has become hoarse, my vision gone blurry, my consciousness begun sinking into a hazy morass. That mansion appears before me, wrapped in a morning fog that seems foretell rain. Oh my. The mansion comes into view like a world fading in after a dream. It doesn't appear as though anyone lives here. All the windows are either boarded up or shuttered, as if it's long since been abandoned. A tower, which seems out of place in a personal residence, stands tall beside the mansion. The whole building seems as though it could disappear with the fog. It has an unwelcoming presence, freezing me in my tracks. However, if this is where you have led me, then I shall follow your guidance. Having nowhere else to go, this mansion is my only salvation, the light that guides my way. So I must have faith that no matter what I find, whether spirits or wild beasts dwell within these walls, that this is where I will find peace. Must be why we keep coming back to it. Is anyone there? I guess it is abandoned. That makes sense. Isn't this where we saw the guy in front of the stained glass window? It'd be more unusual for someone to be living in a house so deep in the woods, so far from civilization, like it's been forgotten to time. Can't imagine anyone spending their days here. I place my hand on the front door. What if I can't get in? What if I very much doubt I'll find anywhere else to stay wandering around through the woods. The door doesn't open, I'll die out here in the forest. Come to accept much, but I'm not ready to forfeit my life yet. Please open. The door is heavy. Though it seems to protest my attempts to enter, it still opens much easier than I was expecting. I was worried over nothing. Looking in, I get the strangest impression light is being swallowed up into the mansion's depth. Rather than going inside, it feels as though I'm about to step outside the boundaries of this world. When I close the door, it's so dark I can't even tell where I'm walking. Wonder if the window's open. Though I managed to fumble my way over to a window, it's tightly shuttered. The shutters are caked with rust. I'm probably not getting it open without a fight. If only I had some source of light. I can't even see my hand waving in front of my face. Feels like the floor will fall out from under me and I'll sink into eternal darkness if I don't watch my step. Fighting back that fear, I slowly walked forward, tracing the wall with my hand. There's a door at the end of the long corridor. I pull it open and a wisp of bone-chilling air brushes past me. It's too dark to see anything, but I can feel something different present in this area than the rest of the house. Uneasiness grips me. Is anybody here? My voice simply disappears into the void. No response. I'm pushing forward through freezing air. For a split second, I spot a shimmer of light. Squinting my eyes, I'm able to make out a large window. Unlike the others, it's not shuttered, but covered by drapes. My chances are slim, I imagine, but if there's even a slight possibility of getting some light in here, it's worth a shot, so I pull open the drapes. The next moment, a faint but colorful light shines down on me. It's a stained glass window. From beyond the glass, I can hear the subtle pitter-patter of rain. I guess it finally started. The different colors of light bend into milky white, dim but wondrous. It's gorgeous. Why would someone cover this up? It's beautiful. With a little more light, it'd be... I was right! It is... Yep, I knew it. I'm a genius. Please do not touch the drapes or the windows. Suddenly I hear a voice, and I can sense someone else in the room. The man's voice is emotionless, neither deep nor high. Before long, he comes into view, illuminated by a dull orange candlelight. Here's the hottie. The white-haired boy. I'm sorry for coming in uninvited, but, I did announce myself. The man stands there, practically blending in with the darkness. Had he been there the whole time? He's staring straight at me. His gaze wavers slightly, but not enough for me to read anything in it. The candle in his hand and the light from the stained glass window are the only illumination in the room, neither of which are particularly bright. As a result, his outline is faint and blurred. It gives off the impression that he might vanish entirely between blinks. My apologies. I assumed the house was abandoned. I suspect you would have preferred it to be abandoned. Not at all. Do you live in this mansion? Yes, I have for a very long time. I thought I had barred the front door, but it would seem I left it open. What brings you here? If you're lost, I'm happy to give you directions. There's a village west of here. It'll take you maybe half a day on foot. If you are in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. Trade it for food in the village and make your way to a larger town. Please allow me to stay here. Could you repeat that? I cannot go to the village. No, I cannot go anywhere. I'm no longer able to freely return to any town. I'm being hunted. You seem rather young to be a sinner. So you have transgressed. I'm neither a thief nor an adulterer. If I bear any sin, then it has been with me since birth. I'll do everything I can to stay out of your way. I simply ask, do you grant me shelter until it blows over? Did something weird happen now? What do you mean? We've seen this before. And this is also the room that's supposed to be closed off from the rest. I don't know what you mean though, sorry. So please do not throw me out. I see. You do ask this of me, aware how people refer to this mansion. Pardon? Said that a witch once lived in this house. Not just any witch, a cursed witch. Yeah, that was probably us back in the day. This house has been tainted by her seething hatred, and all who dwell within it meet their demise. But you live here, don't you? Like her, I too am cursed. I felt the pig stuttering for a sec. Oh yeah, it did that. I don't know why it did that. Sorry. Hi Faye, how are you? Hi Zen. I'm doing okay. How are you doing? What kind of curse? The one thing I can tell you, check the backlogs. Wait, why are the backlogs weird? Yeah, why is everything... tired? Oh. Go up. To the beginning. Oh. You can try to remember the past, but it's an absolute utter waste of time. Erase everything, all your sorrows. Wipe them away for a fistful of happiness. Allow me to show you that you have no need of the past. So your life is in danger if you get involved with me. Interesting. Thank you for showing me, Golden. I appreciate that. I wouldn't have... I thought you meant like just check the backlogs when it's important parts, but clearly there's more to it. Should you approach my curse, I'm likely to take your life. You'll kill me? Yes, so you do not belong here. To live with me in this mansion is to sentence yourself to death. No matter what path I choose, I very much doubt I have a future. And if that's the case, I shall live how I want. Yep, there's a lot of hints gonna be there. I don't care what people say about you or this mansion. I wish to stay here. You might think I'm rather strange, but my heart tells me that I must stay here, that I was guided here. And hearing what you have to say only reinforces that. What are you scheming? I'm not scheming anything. I'm simply tired of running. So if your curse is gonna kill me, then perhaps that's for the best. At the very least, you won't be hunting me. You won't try to flay me, or tear off my arms, or rip the flesh off my bones, and that's enough for me. If you have committed no sin, then why do they hunt you so fervently? I'm accused of being a witch. Master, please wake up, return to me. Oh, have you come to, Master? Hehe. Ah, I knew it! I'm a god. I'm a psychic! I am psychic! My lifeblood was your sustenance, your prosperity. Upon my blood did you build lives. A sin so great it shall never be forgotten, and by my blood were your lives extinguished. This is the power granted unto me by God. My blood shall become a curse, blotting out the stars. I am the witch Morgana. Now let us begin a tale, a beautiful finale of this world. Let's see. Upon my blood. Does that mean there was a vampire? Or did they use the blood in a ritual? Hehe, I apologize for sending you through to the door without warning. I must have given you quite the scare. I beg for your forgiveness. You heard terrible screaming from down the stairs and I panicked. You say you saw the white-haired girl, so you made into the world beyond the door before me. I'm deeply relieved that I was able to take your hand before losing sight of you. I presume you've already grown familiar with the atmosphere of this time period, Master. If you have seen her, as you said, then you should have a basic grasp of the situation. She was a very misfortunate girl in this era, accused of being a witch, abused and persecuted. Her life was in constant danger. It was again her appearance that brought this upon her. The snow-white hair and those ruby-red eyes clearly differentiated her from everyone else. Oh, and I apologize. I neglected to mention that this door is unique. As for what sets it apart, that will be made clear as we proceed, as though one difference is in the time period. The tales I have shown you began with that of beautiful flaxen-haired family, followed by the tale of the bloodthirsty beasts, and the tale of seal and ambition, proceeding in chronological order. However, the door we just entered takes us to the period now known as the Middle Ages, long, long before the three other tales. Yes, that is correct. This is where it all began. Is it? I feel like it began before this, because they said there was a witch before the Michael guy. The mansion's curse, the truth of the witch, and your identity. All of this should be made known. After this tale, you're still unable to reclaim your old self, and there's nothing more I can do. The door contains the last tale I'm able to tell you. So I ask of you, please do not go of my hand until this is all over. Now then, let us begin a beautiful, tragic love story of two solitary souls trapped in a mansion of darkness. In that era, the mansion was a dungeon draped in darkness. After a great deal of time on the run, the white-haired girl had found herself at a remote mansion that stood in a dark, overgrown forest. All the windows were either boarded or shuttered, and it was even darker inside the house than out. Not even a ray of moonlight could enter those walls. Only naturally, the white-haired girl had assumed nobody lived there, but her guess was incorrect. Someone did indeed dwell in the house. Check again? Oh shit. You, having been trapped in perpetual darkness, found light in the same house where I withered away. The light that was bestowed upon you by a certain woman, was it not? Leave everything to me, my dear. I promise I shall make this into a most beautiful tale. Yes, I am giving you a special treatment, a rare act of kindness from me of warmth. That you do not wish her to know the truth, and I can make better use of her like this. So it's both our benefits to rewrite the woman you loved. Yeah, the certain woman is the white-haired girl, and the witch is the maid, maybe? And the maid's rewriting her memory. It was a young man named Michael. Though she could not make out the details of his face in the candlelight, she thought him a very handsome man. However, he proclaimed to her that a witch resided within the mansion, and that he too was cursed. Everyone who got close to him lost their lives. Do you think that what he told her was all nonsense? A lie devised to chase her out of the house? The truth of the matter should come to light in time. Despite Michael's assertions, the white-haired girl decided she would take up residence within the mansion. This era's white-haired girl was younger than the others. She was still in her early teens, young enough to still be seen a child. She was neither self-centered nor irresponsible as you might expect of someone her age. She was very delicate and reserved, and acted with a great deal of modesty and restraint. The accusations of her being a criminal and a sinner were grossly inappropriate. Nevertheless, she was still chased from her house, barely managing to flee to this mansion with her life. Now the white-haired girl thought it would be rude to simply take space in the mansion, so she chased down the master, Michael, and asked, is there anything I can do to help? I will clean or cook or do anything, just let me know. I want to repay you for allowing me to stay here. You need not feel indebted to me. The weight of that obligation will only turn into disdain. But I can't just stay here and do nothing. Do whatever you like as long as you do not enter my room. That's all I ask of you. He said emotionlessly, turning away and walking off. Michael was not, I believe, spurning her. He was merely disinterested. He did not treat her disrespectfully, nor did he seem averse to her presence. Words simply did not seem to affect him at all. Not only was the mansion a prison for his body was also a prison ensnaring his heart. I shall do whatever I can. But she did not let that get her down. In fact, she might have even interpreted his disinterest as kindness. Though he was a bit standoffish, he did not attempt to cause her harm. He was nothing like the people who accused her of being a witch and forced her to flee for her life, and she was deeply grateful for that. Thus began their quiet life together, Michael, who avoided contact with others, and the white-haired girl, who had taken a great deal of abuse from others, two people who hardly knew anything about one another, who were too distant to really be said to be living together. Michael spent most of his day in his chambers, so they only ever saw each other occasionally, and they hardly ever spoke. Though they stayed in the same house, they both lived solitary lives. Nonetheless, the white-haired girl wanted to get to know Michael better. She wanted to know why he called himself cursed, why he lived alone in this dark mansion. How many days, how many years had he spent here in solitude? And while she waited for the opportunity, she also started doing things around the house. The first project she set out to take care of was cleaning. As the windows were all firmly shut, her only source of light was candles. For whatever reason, there was a great deal of candles stored in the cellar. She wondered where on earth she had acquired so many, but she never found the opportunity to ask him. It was difficult to even see all the dust and cobwebs with only candlelight, and considering the poor airflow through the house, she was afraid her efforts were going to be in vain. I'm out of breath for some reason. Still, she persisted, sweeping and wiping things down one room at a time. Eventually, she made her way to the library. The dust that had settled there was much heavier than in any other room. With each breath, she had to fight back coughs. It is not a room one would normally be comfortable spending much time in, but the sight of so many bulky volumes lining the shelves sent her heart aflutter with delight. They're books. Incredible, real books. The white-haired girl had never seen a book before. She had heard people describe them, but that was the first time she had ever seen one for herself. Parchment was a very valuable commodity in that era. It was something monks or scholarly priests made use of, and not a material one could easily acquire without some degree of social rank. Books were not printed with machines, but copied by hand. A single volume took an incredible amount of work to create. Even the process of binding was an art. Standing before a shelf, she stared intently at the spines. There's so much dust. Does he not read any of them? Just a peek, just a tiny peek. She said, is it gonna be the one story about the girl trapped in the place and someone coming to save her that she told the flaxen-haired boy? She said, making excuses to the empty room as she reached her hand towards one of the books. The tome that caught her eye was on the upper shelf. It bore gorgeous jade embossing and looked like it belonged in a treasure chest. Maybe. Almost. Though she tended to act older than her age, the white-haired girl was still in her early teens and not especially tall. Even standing tiptoe, it was still just barely within reach. At long last, her slender fingers made contact with the spine, and she began to pull the book toward her. The library had sat abandoned for some time, causing the covers to stick together, so when she attempted to pull one out, several others tilted with it, and then almost all the books on the shelf came avalanching down onto her. Ow! She groaned, buried under the mountain of parchment. She hoped she had not damaged any of her host's valuable collection. For the mess was enough of a setback already. In her attempt to express her gratitude, looking around, she saw one volume was almost torn in half. She didn't know why it was in that condition before if it happened in the fall, but nonetheless she felt horribly guilty. Sitting there, unable to get back to her feet, tears began welling in her eyes. And then suddenly a shadow fell over the dejected girl. It took a book in its hand and returned to the shelf. For a brief moment, the shadow's hand reached hesitantly towards the white-haired girl, then changed course toward another book. It was Michael. There was a hint of perplexity in his otherwise emotionless eyes. Perhaps he had heard the noise and come to see what had caused it. I have a feeling he's been low-key observing her. I'm so sorry, your books, What were you doing? I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to make a mess. I didn't mean to damage such precious books. No need to panic. I'm sorry. Make it sound as though I'm admonishing you. What? Do you want to read a book? I do, but that's not what I originally came here to clean. Clean? Yeah, I felt guilty simply being idle. You did say you could do as you were pleased, but you have no responsibility to clean anything. Just ended up making a bigger mess anyway. What was that? I'm sorry. You needn't apologize. Okay. If you want to read, help yourself to any of these books. Hello, that's a dude? Oh yeah, that's a hot motherfucking dude. What's up, Strange? I hope you're doing well. But I don't know how to read. I just thought the cover was pretty, so I wanted to hold it. You're free to use them how you wish. If looking at them is enough for you, by all means. These are your books, aren't they? They are. It's incredible, you have so many. Must have taken you a long time to acquire them all. So you need to go back 15 minutes. Yeah, true. One per month. What? My family sends me one every month. Every month? The white-haired girl turns her gaze back towards the shelf, squinting her eyes and beginning to count. She finished shoes and all. There was an excess of 100 books on the shelves, which meant he had lived there in solitude for many years. Ah, interesting. She was at a loss for words. They're dull tomes, dreadfully inoffensive, and not even interesting enough to waste a few hours with. Decoration is all they're good for. I see. If you can put them to some use, then perhaps my having them won't be entirely meaningless anymore. Going to return to my room. Don't feel obligated to clean up. Just a minute. Was there something else? Could you tell me your name? I just realized I never asked for your name. Not knowing what to call you makes conversation awkward. You don't need my name too. How come I keep skipping over it quickly? I want to though. Michael. Michael, like the archangel. The name suits you quite well. Suits me? It does, although it's difficult to see you in the dark. You seem to be a very handsome man, befitting of your name. I beg to differ. Giving me his name is the highest form of mockery. I expect the real archangel is probably rather annoyed by it. I don't know. I think it's a wonderful name. And you are? No, never mind. Oh, my name? My name is Giselle. Please call me Giselle. So Morgana has to be the maid. I guess the white-haired girl isn't the witch. I have a feeling the witch is the one well, we know she's not the witch because the witch was talking about her. See, the name is censored. Your name is Giselle. Please call me Giselle. Oh, thank goodness. For what? I was able to get your name and talk to you for a little bit. We haven't seen much of each other since I first arrived, so I'm so glad I got to hear your voice. So very glad. You gain nothing by speaking to me. You have no responsibility to do so, and there's no need for you to feel joy about it. I'm not pleased out of some sense of responsibility or necessity. It's just depressing, not being able to have a conversation with someone living in the same house. You do not understand me at all. As I said on the first day, my curse will one day kill you. But I'm still alive, aren't I? You're welcome to believe I'm lying, or that I'm really out of my mind. But it will be too late when you realize the truth. I'll be fine, I'm sure. And even if I do die because of your curse, I promise I won't hold a grudge. Could you possibly be keeping away from me out of concern? No, I simply have no interest in interacting with anyone. I would like to interact with you, if you don't mind, that is. As I told you, you have nothing to gain from that. I have nothing, not even words to give you. My body is but a shell. Even if I were not cursed, my presence would do naught but cause you discomfort. I don't think that's true. I don't believe that there's anyone in this world with absolutely nothing. There's plenty inside you. You simply haven't noticed it yet. And not all of it will only cause others pain either. If you truly believe those words, then you are a foolhardy girl. How can you trust someone you only just met? For that matter, how do you not resent everyone? Resent them? I can take a guess as to why people call you a witch and why you had to flee all the way to this mansion. Your white hair and red eyes, the abnormal, seemingly inhuman appearance drew their condemnation. Doesn't he have the same red eyes and white hair? And I can think of any number of reasons they might have started treating you less than human. Perhaps people around you experienced misfortune, or perhaps there was a natural disaster, a famine, a plague, some kind of external phenomenon, and you are their scapegoat. Yes, you are by and large correct, and that would make me as unworthy of your trust as anyone else. I make no claim to having your interests in mind. Goodbye. If you don't mind, could you teach me how to read sometime? Did you listen to anything I said? I listened, yes. I have no intention of idolizing you, and I don't expect you to do anything for me, and I don't wish to burden you in any way. I simply wish to be allowed to be at your side. It does not matter to me what kind of person you may be. This is all I want. I apologize for keeping you. Please consider it if it's not too much trouble. As the master of the house, Michael, made his way out of the library, he appeared to be slightly rattled. Perhaps the white-haired girl's determination had ignited something in his chained heart, or perhaps it was something else. She stared towards the darkness into which Michael had disappeared. Then she carefully wrapped her arms around the jade-embossed tome, a soft smile spreading across her lips. He's a decent man, I'm sure of it. We're alike, he and I. And this began to blossom within her a faint sense of fellowship, as someone who also knew solitude. Yeah, I was gonna check, I know. There's nothing there. Oh well. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's like. Been about a week since the light-haired girl had taken up residence in the mansion. Staying in that house deprived of light was, I imagine, a very claustrophobic experience. To anyone blessed enough to have sunlight as part of their everyday lives, it would have been unbearable. Is he a vampire? Wait a minute. But for her, the mansion, with its prison walls and lack of either illumination or work, he must be a vampire and he's gonna accidentally kill her. And he's gonna suck her blood, and that's the censored talk only. He's a vampire, I'm sure of it. A like and blank. But for her, the mansion, with its prison walls and lack of either, there are so many ambiguous vampires. True. Its prison walls and lack of either illumination or recreation was the one place she could find respite. She and Michael continued to be distant, however. He spent most of his time in his chambers, which he had explicitly told her to stay out of, leaving her unable to close that gap. Nonetheless, on the occasions they did cross paths in the hallway, their eyes would meet, if but briefly. It was never more than a few seconds. Whenever she saw them, she made a point of giving him a little smile. He never said anything, but still, when she first arrived, he would not even have met her gaze. He seemed to be taking more and more notice of her. One day, the white-haired girl stood in the cellar, a frown on her face. Well, this is troubling. Can't go down to the village if you don't do something soon. The cellar where their food was stored, an assortment of non-perishable and dried foods, smoked meat and cheeses. Her daily meals were taken from supplies there. However, the stockpile was beginning to grow quite small. Were she not in the run, she could have gone to the village to procure more. Perhaps were she a little tougher, she could have captured a wild animal for its meat. But master, you know, a young, delicate thing like her was hardly up to the task of hunting for food. How does he normally get his supplies, I wonder? From there, other questions about Michael started rising in her mind. No matter how lifeless he seemed, surely he still to eat, right? The white-haired girl nodded, then made her way out of the cellar, turning to head for his bedchamber. But on her way there she spotted him standing by the entrance. Staring motionless by the door, lit by a single candle. He appeared to be waiting for something. May I ask you a question? Go on. It's just down in the cellar. I know if we were running low on food. Do you normally go to the village to restock? I haven't been outside in 10 years. Then how do you... What if I told you I don't eat? What? But I am not of this world. As such, I have no need for sustenance. What would you think of that? Sounds very, economical. Economical? She's so funny. If he can survive without having to eat, that's one less thing to worry about. If it were possible, I'd like to have that ability too. He's like, I'll turn you into a vampire, baby girl. It seemed trying to fight me was a waste of time. Was I supposed to be afraid? Never mind, doesn't matter. You asked about the food in the cellar. It's getting to be about that time. Wait and you will find out. It's here. Oh? If you want to know where my supplies come from, open the door. But, I'm in hiding. There's no one at the door anymore. The knock is nothing more than a signal. Signal. White-haired girl turned toward Michael to press him for more information, but he averted his gaze. Find the answer yourself, he seemed to be saying. She took several moments to gather her will, then marched over to the door. So bright, the sunlight, which she had not seen in some time, so bright seemed to burn her eyes. Although the sun itself had not gotten any brighter, she simply spent so much time in the dark, her eyes were no longer accustomed to that much light. The color of her eyes made them quite sensitive to light already, so when she stepped outside, her whole world went bone white. The white-haired girl stood motionless for 10, perhaps 15 seconds, and when her eyes had finally adjusted to the light, "What's this?" She noticed a crate on the ground at her feet. Turned her head back to ask Michael about the box, but the mansion was so dark it appeared to be wholly severed from the outside world. From where she stood, she was unable to distinguish him from the shadows. A pang of nervousness struck at her. She wanted to return to that darkness as quickly as possible. The white-haired girl had come to yearn from that world without light more than the one with. Weight was fairly hefty. The slight-built girl had considerable difficulty bringing it into the house, but eventually she did manage to drag it through the front door. And then everything went dark once more, except for the faint flicker of candlelight floating in the air. You can leave it there. I'll take care of the rest. Without a word, he approached her in the box, withdrawing a knife that he evidently kept hidden somewhere in his person. Whether he cut through the rope bound to the box. Go on, open it up. His insistence, she placed her hand upon the lid. She had no idea what lay inside this unexpected delivery. Whoever had brought it was already long gone. Staring at the strange box, she was racked with nervousness. However, she found when she pushed aside the lid was completely ordinary food. Haha. Something amusing? It was just rather anticlimactic. Here, I was worried what might be inside. You're just talking about spies in the cellar, so beware. It completely slipped my mind. That should last us for some time. It's all preserved just like what's in the cellar. But I don't understand. Who would deliver all this to you? Should be a book in there as well. Oh, what? Oh, there is. In the library, he said that his family sends him a book once a month. Does that mean this box came from them? So why did the person who delivered this leave without speaking to him? What happened between him and his family? Is he here because they wanted him here, or because he chose to be here? Take the book to the library, please. I will bring the rest of the supplies to the cellar. But it's a big box. I'm sure you could use some help carrying it. That won't be necessary. Take the book and go. But, fine, then stay here. I'll take care of everything. Oh, wait, hold on, please. What is it? You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. And I'm not trying to pry, but I can't help but be curious. Say what you have to say, please. I was wondering if you could tell me why you live here in the mansion. Why did whoever delivered this box leave before you even opened the door? Could you perhaps be imprisoned here? Told you this the very first day I am cursed. It's only natural for a cursed man to live in a cursed house. Yes, but that's such a vague answer. I don't understand why you're in the situation you are. I don't know how you feel about it. There's so much I don't know. And I'm not even sure if your curse actually exists. I see. There's a perfect reasonable doubt from your point of view. Having been branded a witch because of your appearance, it makes sense that you would think my curse might be fabricated, or perhaps a metaphor for something else. Alright then, come with me. What? I'll show you my curse. As he turned on his heels, the white-haired girl caught a glimpse of what appeared to be a smirk on his face, like the whole thing was some kind of sick joke. That smile, carved into his mask, was far colder than any look of annoyance or rejection. Is he sick, I wonder? I don't know. Maybe ignorance? But despite the twinge of nervousness, she still followed after him. As much as he might have stood out in a crowd with such height and long hair, his presence was almost entirely eroded away by the darkness. She felt that he could simply fade away into nothingness at any moment. Grab for his hand! Many things are buried here. Huh? Mice, insects, wild cats, and dogs. Have you ever thought it strange how little life there seemed to be around this mansion? You're right. Haven't seen a single creature since I arrived. The only sound I can hear is the wind blowing. Now that you mention it, it did seem peculiar. They were all killed by me, or rather, they lost their lives because of me. You have your answer now. Butterfly fluttered its way into the ruined garden, dancing up and down through the air. Michael held out a finger before himself, and the butterfly, mistaking it for a branch, drifted down upon it to rest its wings. Had the scene stopped there, would have been a picturesque moment. All that comes in contact with me loses its life. My skin, the breath I exhale, my flesh and blood, is poison to all life. The butterfly's movements began to slow. It spread its wings in one last futile attempt to fight gravity. Then, without warning, it shriveled up into a dry husk. It's dead, all dried up and lifeless. Oh, that means they can't hug. Been dead for days. It's like his finger drained all the life out of it. Is this his curse? Is that even possible? I saw it with my own eyes. This is his curse, though. It explains much. Check the backlog. All that comes in with me. I exhale mine. There are more than just blanking corpses, too. What is the X is supposed to mean? The song is creepy. Servants who came to visit me long ago are here beneath the ground, under our very feet. That's why the servant leaves before I open the door. Should he touch me, should he get near me, his very life is in danger. No one is interested enough in seeing me to take that risk. No one will have anything to do with me. Except for me, because I love you. Nary a soul even wishes to see my face. Now you understand what I meant when I said I would eventually kill you. So that's why you have never once touched me. When I knocked the books down in the library, you didn't offer your hand to help me out. And only one of us ever made contact with the box at the entrance at a time. I offered to help you carry it, and you refused, because you didn't want your finger to accidentally brush against mine. I think there was an anime like this last year, a boy that kills everything he touches, quarantined, and a girl that loves him and keeps teasing him. My actions were not out of concern for you. I simply dislike people. Others' interests mean nothing to me. What an odd face you're making. Do you not believe my curse is real? No, I do. It is certainly irrational, inexplicable, unbelievable. But you've shown me more than enough evidence. And I don't believe you're lying to me right now either. Oh yeah, the maid anime, right? In which case, you now understand how dangerous it is to be near me. You said that if you left, you would be killed. But it's been some time since then. If you're careful to cover your tracks, you can make your escape. You do not belong here. He was telling the truth about being cursed. What a cruel burden to have to bear. Can't imagine just how much he's given up on, how many lives he's inadvertently taken, how he must have felt every time it happened, how much pain and loneliness that must have given him, how much despair he must have to carry in his heart, how much sorrow must be weighing down on him. So no. I will not leave. I will stay here with you. Leave this place. No, I will not. Why? Why do you insist upon remaining in this house after learning what I can do? You have no reason to stay. Tell me then, why do you try to drive me out? If you don't care for others as you say, if you're not concerned about anyone else, then what does it matter what I do? What does it matter if I die to your curse? You're a very kind-hearted man. You've been watching out for me ever since the day I arrived, doing whatever you can not to inadvertently kill me, to not afflict me with your curse. No. Here's what I think. No one capable of showing genuine care for others can honestly, truly dislike all people. They can't possibly be indifferent. No, Today we met before the stained glass window. You heard me out. You listened to my plight. You didn't try to chase me out. That day I thought you to be a good person, and I still believe that. I simply assumed you would leave on your own when it was safe. I never thought you'd be so foolish as to want to stay in a house like this with a man like me. How does that make me foolish? Do you not value your life? Are you not afraid of death? Do you not find me unpleasant? The thing I fear most is loneliness. Probably right that by now I could safely sneak away and get myself somewhere far from here. But if I did, I would inevitably find myself in the same situation. The only way I can avoid that state is to stay away from everyone, to live in solitude with no one to talk to. I know how you understand how that feels. Terrifies me. I'm afraid of having to spend day after day with no one to talk to. WHG, but you're a cutie. I'm afraid, no one to share my experiences, my thoughts, my feelings with. That's what awaits me out there, that I want to live with you. I want you to be an essential part of my life. Impossible. Please don't chase me out. You are a cruel girl. Never again will I allow myself to get close to someone, only to watch them die. Never again. My mother was the first to die. Happened shortly after my birth. Next was my wet nurse. 2 deaths could be considered a coincidence, but as the number rose, it became clear I was cursed. Forbidden from making contact with anyone, even at home. Regardless, being in the same house, accidents will happen. Numerous people lost their lives. Attendants unfamiliar with me, or those simply brushed up against me by mistake. I couldn't take it any longer. So you chose to move here to this remote mansion to keep yourself away from your family. You weren't imprisoned here. You elected to live alone so you wouldn't hurt anyone. better or for worse, I was born into a noble house, so rather than abandon me, they provided me with the means to live out of sight. I will be very careful. I will do everything I can to ensure no accidents occur, to keep you from being alone again. I will not for any reason touch you. You have my promise. Your curse takes the life of anything you touch. I've been here for a while. Death has not befallen me yet. As long as I do not touch you, there shouldn't be a problem. Also, and I apologize if this is simply me reading too much into things, but I feel like we're two of a kind. This girl is a saint every time. She me for real. I fear being utterly alone more than anything. I think you understand just how scary that is. So, why are you so stubbornly insisting on it being me? I'm sure there's someone else out there. Someone you're meant to be with. You may not have found them yet, but I believe someone like you eventually will. Because unlike me, you still have vigor to press forward. Has to be, I'm certain of it. Why? Because can't tell me. No, I can't. I just, please don't get upset with me. I think I love you. I think I might really love you. Wow, I'm at class. Ah! Hello, Anya's professor. Guys, my voice is trash right now. I think I'm gonna pause here.